Hi, this is Angela. Hope all is well with you today. I'm out taking a little evening stroll. As I mentioned yesterday, it was Mother's Day, and my husband made a nice meal for my mom and I to enjoy. And so, leftovers are a good thing. So that's what we had today. Everything was very nice. Also, on Saturday, I did a chat in color with a couple of families, and this time the family group was 8-year-olds. So moms of 8-year-olds came, and my kids, they helped me out with the children, and it's quite nice. As I was prepping for the communication part of the chat in color, I did, some research about communication skills, things that we can do as families, to communicate love to one another, right? So one of the things that I found very interesting is that there were a number of videos done by men. And oftentimes we women feel like men don't communicate. And so here it is, as I'm researching about communication, I was pretty hard pressed to find teachings done by women. Most of the teachings that I found were done by men. And most of the men talked about being heard, so that when you're talking, you are talking to gain information, not just to interject your opinion. This is how I feel, and this is what I want. And because on the average, this is not every woman, but on the average, women have more words. We can put our words together, and we can either build you up or slay you down. Right. And so the men, on the most part, was just really talking about wanting and the need to be heard, and that being what they consider strong communication. Right. And so one of them posed this challenge, and it's a challenge that I posed the ladies, and I also did myself, which is asking the people that you're in a relationship, your household, or, whatever your dynamic is, am I a good blank? So individually, I asked my boys if I was a good mom. And then a few days later, because it took me a minute to ask Kenny if I was a good wife, right? And so first asking, am I a good blank? And then asking the question, what could I do to be better? Or is there something that I am doing or not doing that you would like for me to do? Okay. And so, and when they answer the question, you just be quiet. You don't offer suggestions. The only thing that you can ask is clarification, but no rebuttal, no refute, no look, none of that. This is information gathering conversation. Okay, so I used Evan's answer. So Evan, he said that sometimes. Okay, so yes, I was a good mom. I'm a good mom. Yay. All right. So Evan's answer in particular, I used when I did the chat in color, because Evan said that sometimes at school he feels like he's being yelled at. And then when I am telling him to clean up, that he feels like I am yelling at him, right? Now, I don't personally feel like I'm yelling at him. But this was not the place to express that. This was the place where I asked him a question and I wanted him to give me his answer. Okay? And so I used that. I asked him if we could talk about that when we did the chat in color. And then we were going into The Art of the Apology, which is a book by Gary Chapman. He gives the 5 stages of an apology. I don't remember all the stages, but I'll give you, as I'm walking, but I can give you an overview. So how this conversation went is I am looking eye to eye with my son, right? And so we talk about this thing, because if he feels that I am yelling at him, that is grounds for an apology, because I don't want my son to feel belittled by me or devalued, So when the so asking that question and then determining if an apology is necessary, right? And so with him, it was. So it went like this. Okay, so Evan, um, when you were talking to me the other day, you said that I yell at you when I'm giving you instructions. And so I want to say that I heard you. So that is number one, you're acknowledging the fact that you heard them. And I hear what you're saying. And number two, or two or three, is offer restitution. So oftentimes offering restitution, if you ask someone, is there something that I can do to make this up to you, right? Something as it relates to whatever the thing is that you're apologizing about. But typically, they won't have an answer. Sometimes they may, depending on what it is. But with a kid, they more than likely will look like deer in headlights, right? And so, in which case, you can offer a restitution. Okay, so, Evan, I know I was yelling. So what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to take a breath. If I feel like I'm getting angry, take a breath before I speak to you. If I need for you to clean up. Is that okay with you? That I take a breath before I speak to you so that I'm not yelling? So he says yes. And then I say, okay, well, that's what I will do. Son, will you forgive me for yelling? And so now you are asking for forgiveness, right? Yes, I forgive you. And so then you can show affection, high five or whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, so that was the art of the apology. It's humbling, right? And so what I was telling the ladies is that when someone is giving you your fact finding, when you're talking or you're gathering information, that is not the place to state your case. Well, if you would just do this, then I wouldn't need to do that. That's not the place, okay? Sit with it. Sit with it for a minute. Am I yelling? Like, I don't feel like I'm yelling, but if my communication is coming across and my tone is off, which I've heard about myself before, then it might be them coming off like I'm yelling, right? So I'm not so proud that I can't adjust. Now, does that mean that that I don't communicate that, hey, look, you left a mess and you need to clean it up? Yes, I still need to communicate that, but I don't have to be. I've learned from him that I don't need to yell to say that. You always want to make sure that when you're correcting someone, you're doing it respectfully. That's still a person. Might be a child, but respect is earned. And so if you are being disrespectful and then you expect to be respected, it's not going to be reciprocal. You violated something in that person. Even if it's a child, you still have to watch how you talk to people. Okay? Because if you're disrespectful, then that's what they're going to learn and that's what they're going to take out into the world. I asked Kenny the same question. I know you all are curious. How did Kenny answer? So, yes, I'm a good wife. But he and Jalen both said something about my cooking, right? In terms of either cooking more or writing down your recipes or something like that. And so when my answer with him was, when I make something that you like, let me know. And then I can, jot down what I did to make it. Because oftentimes I cook according to my mood. And I don't know what I did. If you asked me a week later what I did, I wouldn't be able to tell you. So let me know. And that's a compromise, right? And for Kenny, the main thing was a communication thing that I didn't even know he was dealing with and that I thought I was doing better with, right? But apparently I wasn't. And so me asking that question opened the door to my knowing that there was a need that he had that I didn't know. I wasn't communicating enough in an area, right? And so you can use this, and then when you finally do what they've asked you to do, like I was out today, he wanted me to just let him know, hey, look, I'm not trying to, track you down like a dog, but I would like to know where you are. That's reasonable, right? There's no reason why And so when I was out today, I was able to accommodate that. And then that lets the person know that I heard what you said and I value what you're saying. Okay, does that make sense? And so then that helps your that that helps your communication feel, that lets that person feel valued and validated, and that helps your communication be fluid. So I hope that that helps. I hope that it's something that you can try, and shoot me a message, let me know, and we'll talk soon. Take care.